My fiance left me on our wedding day over my hunched back. Sometime before the wedding, we were in an accident. The accident gave me a hump.
You'll need rehab to get rid of it,
the doctor said. I wanted to show Mark what his haste had done.
I'm so glad you're not hurt,
Mark cheered.
Otherwise, I'd die of guilt and couldn't marry you,
he said with relief. I didn't want my sweetheart to feel guilty, so I hid my hump. I thought it would go away soon anyway, and I figured I'd be done with rehab before the wedding. But Mark spent all my savings.
I bought a new car,
Mark said gleefully. I didn't have a choice. I had to show Mark my back. But he said something that stopped me.
I don't want anything that will remind me of the accident,
Mark stated. I had to get rid of my hump fast, so I didn't upset my beloved. I kept hiding my hump and avoided getting intimate with Mark. I even took a second job washing cars. My back was killing me with all the hard work, but I worked more to have the money sooner. One day, Mark brought his new car to the car wash.
My ride needs some cleaning after yesterday's party,
he gloated. Mark was boasting and having a ball while I was working 2 jobs to make him happy. I managed to gather enough money for rehab. I still had time to complete the therapy and lose the hump before the wedding. But the doctor gave me bad news. Overexertion made things worse.
The treatment's gonna take longer now and cost more.
I knew I wouldn't have enough money to get my back fixed before the wedding. That's why I went to the wedding with my hunched back. I went to the altar to tell Mark that I needed physical therapy, that I'd do everything so he wouldn't feel guilty, and that we'd get through this as husband and wife. But just as I squared my shoulders to say my vows, the dress ripped and Mark saw my hump.
I'm not marrying Quasimodo,
he yelled. Mark dumped me at the altar. He drove away in a car he'd bought with my money, and with the girlfriend he'd been wooing while I worked. I went back to the car wash. I remembered the doctor's advice to go easy on my back, so I modified my brush a little. I was in no hurry to earn more money, and I knew no one would take care of me. I had to do it myself. The owner of the car wash saw my upgraded brush.
I'd buy 1,000 of these,
he said. I decided to put all my money into making these brushes, as they'd help tons of people by reducing the load on their backs. As for my physical therapy, I put it off indefinitely. 1 year passed. Mark showed up at my door. He and that girl had got in an accident. Mark ended up in a wheelchair. She dumped him once she learned his disability was permanent.
Let's be together. We're both disabled after all,
Mark offered. I showed him my back. There was no sign of a hump.
Where'd your hump go?
Mark gaped. My back was healed by someone else's love and care. Kevin. He wasn't scared of my hump, though I still tried to hide it.
No problem. We'll get through this together, Kevin would tell me.
My brushes made enough to cover physical therapy, and Kevin was there for me the whole time. I told Mark to leave. He wasn't the center of my universe anymore. I'm marrying Kevin tomorrow. I'll walk to the altar to tell him that marrying a loving, caring man was all I ever wanted.